now, for the first time in the mankind's history, an advocate of peace has appeared to point the way to a practical and sustainable path to peace. Having traveled around the world 7 times, Mr. Lee is spearheading a dynamic and effective movement towards peace. And now, in the year of 2014, Mr. Lee embarks on his 8th journey.
Kapayapaan sa mundo at kabilang na nga po sa kanilang mga lugar na binisita ay ang Mindanao kung saan kaya ang iba't ibang relihiyon na tagisin na ang pagkakaunawaan at kalungan para na rin sa ikabulan ng kabayan. Ulat namin sa sarang highlight sa mga wikang pagkakaan ito ang kalakasan sa mga
Having concluded an agreement to end the 40 years of war, the World Peace Advocate returns home to a warm welcome. World peace, something we have only spoken about, has become a reality through the work of Mr. Lee, and he is receiving endless questions.
Can a religion claim to be righteous and good irrespective of the actions of its believers?
There is even live translation for those present. Non-Koreans in the airport are listening attentively to what Mr. Lee has to say. Of course, that is to be expected as the issue of world peace is one of the oldest and arguably the most pressing for all mankind. But now the World Peace Advocate, Mr. Lee, seems to be achieving the impossible, fulfilling the desire for peace. How did he facilitate the creation of peace in Mindanao?
Appreciate your effort to bring light to this world through the teaching of the Bible.
I appreciate very much your experience.
I'd like to ask you to please help us prepare for the upcoming World Alliance of Religions for Peace Summit. Too soon they had to say farewell.
These people should rather try to understand one another
서로 이해를 해가지고 정말
and become a true light as believers.
해야 되겠다는 생각을 가지는 것인데요. 이제 가면은
When I go to the Philippines, I want to encourage them to sign an agreement to make peace.
좀 권하고 싶어요. 아마
I'm sure things will go well. Please wait and see.
Through the will of heaven.
평화의 사자
Mr. Lee has already undertaken 7 world tours, taking his message of peace, the cessation of war, and the heavenly culture to people all over the globe.
올해 지구를
As of this 8th tour, I believe we will begin reaping the harvest from the seeds he has sown.
그러한 첫 순방으로 저는 그렇게 생각을 하고 있습니다.
Sees her role as that of a bridge spanning the distance between the youth in Mindanao and the peace advocate. As the World Peace Delegation arrives in Mindanao, it becomes clear that this is sure to be a pivotal moment in the lives of many. Approximately 100 students and members of the local youth have gathered, forming a row at the Over 1,000 members of IPYG joined in the walk to show their support for the signing of the peace agreement. The youth were not the only ones walking. Members of the government on both national and provincial levels came out to join in the activities. Peace in Mindanao has been a desire in the hearts of those people for a long time.
Today, you are able to be the hope for the whole world. Heaven wants us to live in peace with one another. It is not only you crying out for peace, but all the youth of the world. I too desire to see peace in our world. I am asking that you, as the people of the Philippines, as well as those students and young adults among you, join me and be the advocates for peace. Let us do all this work together. Let's hear it for peace. Let's hear it for the Philippines.
Youth of Mindanao take to the streets following the lead of the peace advocate from Korea. Their call for peace has stirred the sleeping heart of Mindanao, gently calling its spirit into the light of hope. The stream of celebrating people seems endless. The crowd continues to march down the road. People in traditional dress walk to the joyful rhythm of street performers. With hope as tangible as this, they cannot stop smiling. After a history of fear and disappointments, they have met a man they can trust. Peace will come. The light of hope has dawned on those living in hopelessness. For the people of Mindanao, this is where peace begins. For the signing of this momentous document. Due to Mr. Lee's work, the light of peace has dawned on the Philippines.
Sa mundo at kabilang na nga po sa kanilang mga lugar at patuloy na ay ang
World Peace and Restoration of Life, Mr. Man Ki Lee.
Lee proclaimed the declaration of world peace and restoration of life for the first time in history. And when there was a typhoon in the Philippines, Chairman Lee sent a relief supply. It was broadcast by a state-run broadcasting station. Thanks to him, truckloads of supplies were delivered to those in need.
We are very happy to welcome you.
From the looks in their eyes, one might think they had experienced an encounter with heaven itself. And by signing the World Peace Agreement. With hopes set high for the third meeting, the two leaders continue talking. To conclude, the meeting escorts them safely from place to place. The 2014 World Peace Forum, the Philippines. Religious leaders from a multitude of faiths and social organizations have gathered here. When each of the 50 seats has been filled, the World Peace Forum gets underway. The MC opens the forum by introducing the Heavenly Culture, World Peace Restoration of Life, the group that brought the energy of peace to the Philippines.
The two subsidiaries of HWPL are the International Women's Peace Group, IWPG, and the International Peace Youth Group, IPYG. HWPL has 70 branches in South Korea with an international presence of over 100 countries. Currently, IPYG consists of more than 128 youth-centered organizations from over 53 countries. We would now like to invite a representative of each of our major groups here to give a short speech for just 2 minutes to declare peace and unity.
네, 먼저 한림문화 세계평화광국 이만희 대표님이십니다. 여성그룹 김남희 대표님이십니다.
Mr. Lee has changed the course of history for the Philippine island of Mindanao. He is a Korean citizen that holds the attention of the world. Now, the eyes of local media in Korea are turning to him too. We had the privilege of meeting an archbishop in the Philippines. Despite having the most deep and heartfelt desire for peace, and having worked for it for 30 years, he did not have clarity on how to achieve it. He told us he believes that when peace becomes a reality in Mindanao, peace will come to the world. He believes that Mr. Lee has been sent to the Philippines because heaven heard his prayers.
Let us all assume the role of peace advocates. This is the path to peace, is it not? Until world peace is achieved, we should work together, shouldn't we?
In 2014, Mr. Lee, the World Peace Advocate, has begun a new chapter in the history of mankind's quest for peace, calling on religious and social leaders to participate in the summit of the World Alliance of Religions for Peace. Now is the time to proclaim the cessation of wars and world peace to the global community. 2014 September. The family members of peace around the world gathered at the Republic of Korea. The whole world paid attention to this event, which was the first of its kind. For the first time in history, people from all sectors and levels of society around the world gathered in one place for the purpose of peace. The protagonists of peace enter the festival of peace to which the heavens and the earth are called as witnesses. IPYG, with its branch offices around the world, IWPG, which embraces the global community with the mother's heart, and religious leaders, former and current heads of state and first ladies, UN representatives, chief justices, and other world leaders entered through the gate of peace, together with the two hosts.
Today, the spirits in heaven and people on earth are gathered here to witness this unprecedented event in human history.
함께 모였습니다.
Beginning with Mr. Lee's Declaration of World Peace proclaimed at the Peace Gate in the Republic of Korea, the waves of world peace spread throughout the world, and finally today, we have come to bear the fruit of peace here in this place.
We must recognize and act according to the times in which we find ourselves. Let us immerse ourselves in peace and become the agents through which peace can be achieved.
Ms. Kim emphasized that people of religion should take part in the work of peace more than anyone else.
It would not be an overstatement to say that wars stem from religions, for there are hundreds of different religions, each with their own scripture that asserts its own will and action. Everything in nature has a beginning and an end, and in the scriptures there are prophecies and fulfillment. In the scripture will be our path that leads us to the only Creator. Dear religious leaders, let us unite under the name of peace and offer religion back to God, the true author of religion. Let us not conform to the ways of evil, but let us put an end to corruption and work together for restoration.
The 12 spiritual leaders who are influential to many followers around the world represented each religion. Together with the two representatives who are the messengers of peace, they made an oath to become one within God. Catholicism, Anglicanism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Shia Islam, Sunni Islam, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism, Baha'i, Jainism. Religion that split into hundreds of different religions has now become one under God through the Peace Advocate. In front of the stage, former heads of state, special envoys of current heads of state, chief justices from each nation, youth group leaders, women's group leaders, peace groups from each nation, and the presidents of universities signed the agreement together. world. Through the peace agreement, the high walls that divided nations and religions are destroyed, and everyone has become a family of peace. Dawned. The rainbow appeared in the skies as if demonstrating an eternal covenant with the God of peace, who is here on this day. 2013, May 25th, the day when Declaration of World Peace was proclaimed in front of 30,000 youths from 130 nations gathered at the Peace Gate Plaza.
With this declaration, the work of world peace has begun.
The past 4 days of the Warp Summit was a historical moment that fulfilled everything proclaimed in the Declaration of World Peace. The symbol of peace, the joyful march of peace, is reenacted at the Olympic Peace Gate. Speeches were delivered by each IPYG branch office representatives.
I come to this summit all the way from Jordan, a country surrounded by trouble and wars. I'm going to South Korea to attend a peace summit because I believe in Mr. Man Lee-hee.
I'm going to get the feeling that we really can change these things to better Koreans. This is simply a wonderful success that must be heard also outside the Seoul. This day, when world peace and restoration has begun, it's a little light in the dark tunnel which will become stronger and stronger by each following day.
I would thank Chairman Man Hee Lee and Chairwoman Nam Hee Kim for putting together a historic summit and their never-ending contribution for further and world peace. I believe this event will be remembered forever.
Throughout my visits around the world, I had said that I have the definitive answer to peace. First is God, who is the heavenly culture. Without Him, I cannot even take a single step forward. Because He is with me, I can go anywhere with no fear. I took an oath to spend even the last drop of my blood for the work of God, and what gives me joy is God's work. The blood shed on the cross by Jesus is in effect today to put an end to all sins. Now the time is coming when God, who is the original master, will come and reign. God sent His messengers each generation, but they were cursed and interfered every time. But evil is now defeated, and isn't it the time for God to be victorious? It is being fulfilled according to the promise in the scriptures. It's not just the religious world that is liberated, but also all of mankind and all creation too. Everyone, is there news more joyful than this? God will rejoice too.
Ms. Kim reminded us about the miracle of peace that appeared at the Warp Summit.
I'm very excited and thrilled because this peace walk is not the end, but rather a new beginning that makes known the era of peace. While all of you and the whole world were looking at the Warp Summit for the past 3 days, the answer to peace that is heavenly culture has unfolded on this earth. Moreover, the leaders of each field around the world have agreed to work together for peace. This agreement has a significant meaning as it destroys the barriers between religions, races, and cultures so that the whole world can become one family.
Mr. Lee united the passionate hearts of the family members of the global community with 3 cheers for world peace and restoration of life.
To all the family members of the global community, to put an end to all wars and establish world peace on this earth, the Warp Summit was convened according to God's will. And now, let's begin the Walk for Peace Festival. Let's hear it for God of Peace. Let's hear it for the unity of religion. Let's hear it for the family of peace. Let the Walk for the Peace Festival begin.
Conference, so a second press conference was convened as a result.
There are several.
Despite the fact that the Asian Games started on the same day in the Republic of Korea, the interest of the international press and all citizens were on the scene of the Warp Summit.
I will not forget the grace you have shown us by traveling far distances to this place for peace, covering the news and being with us.
The traditional Korean performances held at the dinner were perfect, like a banquet prepared by a king, and the guests could feel the essence of heavenly culture. The best time has arrived on the global community with the Warp Summit announcing the beginning of true world peace.
Mankind has continuously tried to make peace a reality for a long time. However, the world has not changed. There must be a definitive answer to achieve peace. The world has finally met the era of world peace for the very first time.
You will be the cornerstone of peace, and peace will be established firmly above you.